What was that?
Perfect. You want to be that guy?
Good morning, DCTV. It is Friday, October 28th, 2022. We appreciate you guys being here. We got Jaime off to my left. We got
Good morning.
Don Front off to my right. We got Brandon, a.k.a. the real Data Lord, who has somehow gone dark.
He's getting a head start on Halloween because of his ghost.
I'm sure.
Blink.
I'm sure we'll get him back in just a second. But while he's working on that, I'm just checking out the futures right now. The S&P is down just slightly, and I have to say I'm a little bit surprised that it's only down this much based off of what we saw in earnings yesterday. Yeah. But it's only down around a 1/10%. The Dow is actually green this morning, as many of the companies on that side of things are actually doing well. Some pretty good reports from Caterpillar and the like that have that index moving up. We also have NASDAQ that is down around 0.3%. And I have to say, just from somebody coming from the traditional markets, that's actually not so bad, considering that Apple didn't do all that hot and Amazon didn't do all that. The big techs, the FANG stocks, if you will, have just been absolutely abysmal this week. And
it's interesting. Those were the ones carrying the market during the COVID era and lifting it.
They still take up 20% of the S&P's market cap. So that's for the resiliency. I guess I'm slightly encouraged by, but not necessarily excited. But we have Bitcoin also, Jaime, that is sitting above 20,000 still. It's down right now around 2%, down 408 points. It's sitting at $20,216 per Bitcoin.
Yeah, we will see the details of that. I don't know if I could just quickly show the screen or.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jaime's going to show us real quick on what's going on with Bitcoin, but I also want to stress that we have plenty of other stuff coming up for today's show. We have a special guest, actually 3 of them. They'll be talking about what they're up to. I think this is going to be a really good show for that. We have some really interesting, innovative conversations and topics that we're going to be talking about with them. We also have, is the peaking of the dollar taking place right now? And Don's going to be talking about that with us as well this morning. And then also a 64-year-old shot up a bunch of Mountain Dew because they didn't want their dad to drink it. Yeah, that's coming up in today's WTF news. Yeah, it's WTF news of the day. So we'll be talking about that too. But Jaime, go ahead. Let's just show everybody what's going on with Bitcoin and kind of give your perspective on what's to expect with them. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to share
just this.
Here.
There we go. There we go. Beautiful. So just a quick update. It's a very clean one. You'll see we're backed up now to the macro view, which is the monthly. On the monthly, we're trying to determine where we're headed. So you can see that by the formation we're seeing on the candlestick. Now, the ceiling, the goal we want to reach, and if we can close by the end of this month above 20,200 and then test it as support, we could see the bottom is in. It's possible. We'll find out by next month for the confirmation candle. If we zoom in more on the weekly, we see that we held that support, the Fibonacci support, as a floor. So now we have room to go up to around 23,800, more or less. The big question is, by the end of this week or within the following weeks, will we close above and test this blue one at 23,800 as support? Then that's the second confirmation that the bottom is in, if we stay above it. Now, zooming in closer on the daily, on the 3-day in this case, we see we rallied up to the 50 moving average, and we are now at a accumulation, or we're resting. The big question is, within this weekend, what will we do? Will we cross above this and test as support, or hit it and then continue on down? That remains to be discovered and seen. And that is the Bitcoin report so far.
Perfect.
Technical.
Perfect. Guys, I just want to let you guys know as well, before we get into our next topic here, to make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as well. We go live Monday, Wednesday, Fridays now, and it will be there 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time until we continue to grow this channel and become more solidified in that nature. I wanted to see, Don, if you had any kind of perspective on the overall market before we get, we'll keep the dollar conversation out of it, but how did you feel about this week so far?
I too thought it was kind of weird that the S&P was where it was at, like tech was where it was at, like, and then you were just watching these big ones. I think everyone did get a little too tunnel visioned on these particular tickers, because even I was as well. Because if you look at the Nasdaq, it just certainly doesn't look like the top three are Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like they just jumped off a cliff for earnings. So it looks like everyone else is holding their own weight, which is awesome. Which I guess 70% of earnings have been green. So good news.
Good sign, yeah.
The S&P is kind of pushing right now, depending on your time frame. It's probably just surging on the smaller ones.
Minute chart, guys.
It's holding an area right now that if this area breaks, like yesterday's low, I'm probably gonna say we're done with the bear market rally. I think next week, though, with the rate hike decision, we will be the determining factor. Next week, we know if the bear market rally's on, we're coming right back down. And I personally, I think I'm in the camp of we're going to raise it 0.5.
Oh yeah,
instead of the 0.75.
Yeah.
Ooh,
why do you think
right
that?
Right before voting, they need butts and booths. I can see it. Let's just get the rally, get everybody excited, and then no one's coming to vote in a bad mood.
Yeah. And you saw BlackRock was suggesting to the Fed that let's make a pivot. Let's make a better judgment call.
Oh, yeah. Kathy wrote him a letter too. But Powell's he's done a great job at saying the same thing over and over again. He told everyone there'd be plenty of heads up. There was one article in the Wall Street Journal talking about how it was almost like in the fashion or context of it was leaked. And the last time they did this, it did pan out to be true. And so I don't want to put all my money on the table on this, but I don't think I'll be surprised at all if it is 0.5 right now.
Is there any other reason other than just like elections or politically motivated reasons as to why they wouldn't raise it to 75? Or is there something macroeconomic is basically what I'm asking, that you think that there's good reason not to? Like, are we seeing
inflation come down?
Well, right. My point is that like I'm seeing, we see demand for houses at a 10-year low and interest rates now back over 7% for mortgages. Like, does any of that certainly or potentially play a factor into what maybe the Fed could be doing this time around?
I think so, but all those indicators are so lagging. They'll wait for the data to actually show up. I think we'll see it. You see those on reports much later. I think they're already in the books, but usually the Fed's not playing that until it shows up in the books. So I don't know. The economy's, Lord says the economy's still too hot to curb inflation. It's going to be 0.75. Yeah, it's not something I want to argue with anybody about. I'm just kind of think I'm one foot in the other camp.
When is
right now?
When is the Fed announcing
next week
for everyone?
Next week.
Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday. So the meeting's on Tuesday, and then they'll announce it on Wednesday.
Ooh, right on November 1st.
Yeah, and I believe it's usually like 2 p.m. one day.
And elections, full swing too.
We got Brandon back.
Man, the bots are listening, dude. I'm telling you.
No, it's
my computer.
The moment Don Fron is about to say something amazing, he blew
dude, I'm telling you, I think some people don't want us saying what we're saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I was on the phone.
I'm not even being funny about it.
We were literally, I was sharing my screen for hours. We were going through every error my computer's ever had. It's the most random ones ever.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Pool's tested this. He starts talking about certain topics, and conveniently some techie issues pop up. So, like, we might be in the Tim Pool pool. I don't know.
All right, so moving on, guys. first of all, again, thanks so much for watching. We certainly would appreciate a thumbs up if you are doing that and enjoying the show so far. Make sure that you also check out our Discord. It's absolutely free to be a part of our DCTV community. If you can't get enough of DCTV here on YouTube, make sure you go follow us over there on Discord. The link is in the chat as well as in the description. We'd love to have you guys over there. And moving on, I am just, listen, you know, we don't really talk about the local news a whole lot, and I'm actually a little bit sad that Greg isn't with us this morning because this has everything to do with the town that he actually lives in. So, North Carolina. This is the WTF news of the day, by the way. The North Carolina woman was issued a criminal citation this week for shooting at cans of Diet Mountain Dew in her backyard. Not really like a big deal, right? Like, unless you're like in a tiny community where you're actually shooting with real guns and not like when I was a kid, it was like BB guns. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna shoot a empty can with a BB gun, have a good time.
Oh, she's in the burbs. She's in the burbs.
She's 64 years old and said she was firing a revolver at cans because she didn't approve of her father drinking them. 64. How old is her father?
Yeah, he's
like,
in his 90s.
Let the man live.
Like,
he knows his time's up.
He's lived through World War II.
Let him go.
Like what? Like let him do whatever the fuck he wants. So this is from the this is in Gastonia, North Carolina, by the way, which is the town that Greg is from. It says the police department says we totally understand that not everybody is a fan of the Dew, but we can't stress enough how dangerous this is. I knew I had heard rumors about Gastonia, and they've gained some notoriety here and there on various documentaries.
Yeah,
but holy shit!
Yeah, I learned about it also after the fact. The history
that is absolutely crazy. A 64-year-old woman shooting a bunch of cans.
You just hear gangbang, and you're like, you go out there and this old lady shooting Mountain Dew cans. Yeah.
Hey, no one's breaking into her house. Right?
They know
that is
right.
damn sure.
And they're not drinking Mountain Dew as they approach either.
Diet.
Yeah, maybe Pelosi done that, their house wouldn't have got broken into.
Yeah. We're a Coca-Cola family. Yeah. Pepsi products.
My question was, did she put them on the ground and start firing into the dirt, or were they just like, was she about to smoke her neighbor because they're just halfway on her deck railing and
like on the top of the fence,
Yeah, just firing off rounds into the neighborhood.
So there was some comments about this from people of Gastonia. One person had commented and said, come on, this is Gastonia. Sun drop only. For those of you who are from the North Carolina area, you know that sun drop is the king around here, which, by the way, I love sun drop. That's a lot of I can't get it in Maryland. You don't get it out where you're at. Do you guys?
What is sun drop?
It's a soda.
It's an orange soda that people from the east get hype about. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And south. Yeah.
And it's from the area. It originated in this area, did it not? There was even a manufacturing plant here in Mooresville.
Correct. Yeah, and I think it's like Pepsi owns it now. But somebody else said I would fully understand if it had been Dr. Pepper. I'd take offense to that. But
no, I get it.
I like.
But anyways, I just thought that was crazy. Lord Fenrir says Dew is the staple here. The Amish drink it like water. Greg said it's not Dew tea, sun drop teeth. Yeah. I love that. I love it.
We had some big news that happened.
What's the big news?
No, just like what's the big thing that happened yesterday?
Oh, with Twitter,
the Doge Lord, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, so that's what we're going to be getting into that in just a second. So, by the way,
we have our guests behind the screen, so they're getting ready. I can see them antsy.
We're gonna. So for those of you who are watching right now, we will be having a special guest here around 9:30. We got a couple other things that we wanted to address real quick, but one of those, Brandon, was that Twitter users will or Twitter will allow users to buy and sell NFTs through tweets. I wanted you to kind of elaborate on that news story real quick.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So Twitter, too.
So Twitter is just hot tamales right now. Elon is officially the king of the twits,
Chief Twit.
Yeah, Chief Twit. So he owns Twitter now, so we're gonna see a bunch of leadership changes there. Of course, he gutted the leadership there, but beyond just getting rid of all the stuff that was getting in the way of people discussing their opinions and views, we're going to start seeing integrations, and I think that's the more exciting part for people who are in crypto, because according to this news article here, there's going to be integrations directly with NFT marketplaces. So the big ones, Magic Eden's a really big one. We of course know, Rarible is big for some expensive NFTs, like a lot of the Bored Apes are off there. And then we have OpenSea as well, and that's exciting. You're going to be able to actually natively buy and sell and display NFTs. So I think that integration is going to dramatically increase the profitability and the utility of NFTs. They're not just something that's so niche. They're going to become very, very mainstream because it's directly integrated with this very popular social media application. So as far as anybody in this crypto space looking to get into NFTs and looking to get into crypto in general, this is huge for adoption. Really, really big.
Yeah, it's good that we have the chief twit involved, because he is all about the evolution, the growth of the space, and of course Doge takes off the moment he walks into the headquarters and starts rolling heads around. So now the fact that even the development team is announcing these tiles where you can actually showcase your NFT with the description naturally, so it looks natural, and I think there's a lot of good things to come. At least we can open our mouths now and say what we really think without having to over censor ourselves.
Well, just the CEO and CFO
and the
Vijaya, the legal. She was the one who was on Joe Rogan's podcast, where Tim Pool was really digging in and asking a lot of questions, and she got chopped pretty quickly. So not physically, just like go from the company. No violence. Yeah.
But the first 3 out. But don't cry for him. I mean, did you see the golden parachutes?
Oh my God, yeah.
14 million.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The crazy part is the CEO has only been a CEO for what, 9 months? Not even.
So they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to be clear though, it's not Elon did say and make it clear on Twitter that it wasn't going to be a free-for-all. Nobody should be able to just say whatever they want without consequence. So there is still going to be some sort of regulatory, I guess, framework or map for in order to not create chaos. So I think that's also important to note, that there's a lot of people out there that are claiming that Twitter is just going to be kind of like this cesspool, more so than it already is. And the way that Elon has communicated it just doesn't seem to be the case.
Correct. And one of the big issues that even he claimed was the bots. So much spam bots in there, pushing agendas, you could see it. And then others dropping visibility if they were not aligned with the entire space.
Yeah, if you're not far left, like, it's no secret. If you're far left, you're probably doing just fine on Twitter. But like any thoughts to the other side is where issues come. Sometimes bots come, sometimes they don't come, sometimes they see your tweet, sometimes they don't. But it's always weird.
And it's still illegal to menace. It's still illegal to wish someone harm with a credible threat. So like we don't condone any of that. Like you should be a respecter of life, liberty, and property, but you should be able to come to a dissenting idea with your own ideas and let the merit of the ideas stand on their own. You don't have to get aggressive, threatening people's life, liberty, or property. So
yeah. That's definitely one thing. Like, outside of Twitter, just social media in general, people need to chill. As far as like they do get excited, and all of a sudden it's just, I'm gonna kill you. It's like the next threat. And some people carry it out.
Yeah, let's be logicians, right?
Exactly. All right. So moving on, Don, the peak is the dollar peaking, and could this be a potential bottom indicator for Bitcoin? I actually put poll in our YouTube chat. If you guys haven't participated in that, I encourage you to please do so. We'd love to have you guys involved with what it is that we're talking about here in our next segment. About 44% of you so far say that a peaking dollar does indicate a Bitcoin bottom. Oh, it just flipped to 50-50.
Voting's
Just flipped to 50-50. So 50% of you say yes, 50% of you say no. And so, Don, I'll go ahead and give you the floor on this one.
Well, I haven't been the reason I've been as accurate as I have been with Bitcoin has been because of the dollar. So the dollar's kind of going, depending on the time frame you're on right now. Actually, if you show my screen, when I say it's been sideways, it's been sideways. We've had this week up and then just all inside. So this down week that we're seeing now that, it's selling off, crypto's kind of pushing up, still just a pullback, but still just inside this 1 week. The dollar's in a very interesting spot as far as tops go. Just because back here in 2000, so I'm watching here and then this upper level.
And just for our viewers, Don, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. This is the weekly chart for those of you guys.
We just switched to the monthly.
Oh, sorry. No, we're on the monthly.
It's a big M,
just so they can keep track. Sorry, Don.
Yeah. So when I was talking sideways, what you guys saw there was the weekly. We had one explosive week up, whole bunch of sideways. The week we're having down, we're still kind of just playing inside that 1 week. So something I'm definitely watching. The monthly does kind of clear it up a little bit. But watching these two levels right here, because things get weird because it's not just us anymore. Now it's a global issue. So we're seeing other countries kind of stand against it. And a lot of money came in to Bitcoin as people were hedging the dollar as it sold off. So like during this trench here, that's when Bitcoin went to 70,000 as it was selling off. This looks very minor right now. So when this does turn, I do think we can call the bottom in crypto. As in, if this is the top right now, both Tamp and I are wrong. Like it's not going to the 10K or 12K. I do think it'll just start to turn and burn to the downside. We've seen a month pullback before, so this isn't anything wild or anything to get excited about. This is my alert here, this orange line. That's when I'll be watching. So right now, I think that'll probably just end up being a dip for the dollar. But that breaks, we start crushing through, and this monthly trend does change. At that point, I'll take what I have because I buy crypto every week, but I also have an amount go to my savings account. At that point, that's when I'll literally take my savings account and put it into Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's what I'll be calling the bottom. What's that?
On the drop. So if it crosses that line, that's your trigger of confirmation that Bitcoin has seen the bottom.
When this monthly trend changes, yeah.
Yes.
So this candle closes below. That's when I'm putting it in.
Yep, great strategy.
Beautiful.
And
and that's what I was talking about a couple weeks ago. Just waiting for it to change. You can put all your money in right now, sure. I think Peter said you get your arms ripped off doing this, but that's fine. Put all your money in now and watch it go to 10K when it hits this top zone, and you can have fun watching that get cut in half. Or you wait for it to get to what 23,000, like big deal. You give it a couple extra. That's nothing for Bitcoin, and then watch that break, then buy in. It wasn't the absolute bottom penny, but you got a little bit more confirmation on your side.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's worth noting too. Don does do mentorship for all this trading. If you want to get more involved in this,
at Don Fran Show.
Yep, go check him out on YouTube. Thanks, Don, for the insight. Certainly appreciate this, and let us know what you guys think in the comments and in voting as well. Does a peaking dollar indicate a potential bottom for Bitcoin? And I would just to tie in our Fed conversation earlier in the show. Fed comes in lower than expected on interest rate hikes, the dollar could start to see that move down, and maybe that trend starts to take place. That could be the trigger there, Don, too.
Yes, and remember the dollar gains strength with higher interest rates.
Correct.
Because foreign money comes into the United States. They see their national fiat not as stable as the U.S., so that's where you see that huge push of value coming to the U.S. markets.
Exactly. And real quick, guys, just want to invite you guys again just to go check out our Discord at our DCTV Discord. The link is in the chat as well. And our last topic here, which I think is very interesting, Jaime, and give you the floor next. Is that Binance confirms a $500 million investment in Elon Musk's Twitter takeover.
Yes.
This is going to be a very interesting topic, but just also let you guys know to stick around because we will be having our guests from a Token Tag. Can't wait to talk with them and have them let us know what they're up to.
Tag Token.
Sorry,
.io.
sorry. I keep screwing that up. I've been screwing it up all morning.
He's dyslexic.
I am, yeah. So, but we're super excited to talk to those guys here in about 5 minutes. So make sure you're sticking around for that. But let's go ahead and just chat about this real quick. So Jaime, Binance is $500 million into the Twitter takeover.
Yes, and all this was a promise made before this when Elon announced, you know what, I'm going to buy it. CZ and a few other, you'll see in this article that there's a few others that also committed to funds if and only if Elon went through his purchase. And the reason why is because all of them have complained about the bots, how they push certain agendas, and it's pretty clear when you look at the trending. And anyone that went against it, you could see bots pushing in the other direction, and that was one of his arguments. Well, what transpired is CZ, or the founder of Binance globally, had promised Elon, hey, if the deal goes through, I'll put in 500 million to support the purchase, because everyone wants to see a free and clear Twitter. Let it do its natural thing, of course, within the law, without crossing any liberties, property, and others. In other words, honor the Constitution, but let it be free speech in there, so everyone can have their say and conversations. So you'll see there were others that actually also sent. CZ, of course, stands out because he's one of the largest influx of money to support this purchase. So you can see it actually opens up a lot of people, not just us that are on Twitter or any Twitter user. And if you looked at Twitter last night, my God, everyone's like, finally, let's get rolling. Let's start talking. Let's move forward. NCZ was one of them. So in our case, we welcome this big change. Now let's see what happens. Of course, by the fruits, we'll know if this was a good move or not. But CZ clearly supports it. And he actually sent the 500 million to Elon in support of this purchase. Cool. All right. Now I think I've been dying to meet the team that's here behind screen. So
let's
Bring them on.
Let's get to it. So, guys, for those of you who have been waiting for our guests, tokentag.io. We have Riley amongst his other colleagues as well. He is the co-founder of Token Tag. The area of expertise around a Token Tag is the community dynamics and customer relations.
I messed up. Riley and team, I'm very sorry. I think I flipped that, didn't I?
I don't know. Let's just bring him on.
Okay, Sweet Lord, guys. I'm so sorry. I think I flipped
What's
that.
up, guys?
Deep. What's up, boys?
Yeah, token tag token.
So what is
Same thing, right? No, it's token tag. It's token tag.
Token Tag? Okay.
You got it right the first time.
Okay.
I've got it up right here behind me.
There you are.
There
Paul's
we
over
go.
in the office right now. I
So,
believe Mike's over in the office as well.
yeah, I was like, man, because I was screwing it all up all morning. I was like, oh, man, did I really get it wrong again? But I appreciate the grace, guys. Thanks so much for coming on this morning. And let's let everybody know what you've been up to. What is Token Tag, and how can everybody benefit from what it is that you guys are up to?
What the problem was, what you discovered, and what you're doing about it.
Absolutely. So we were chatting before, and the main thing that we said was like everyone believes that Web3 is the future and that mass adoption will come. But the main thing right now, we have to focus on communities, and we agreed on that. Communities are going to be the first thing that drives that forward. The one thing we found, though, was that being a member of a community or managing a community right now is an extremely difficult job because there's just so many different identities people have online right now. They have a Twitter, they have a Discord, they have a Telegram, their wallet address. So what we went in and what we did was we talked to a bunch of different communities and we got what their problem was. We found out what their problem was, and what their problem is they can't interact efficiently with their individuals. And then also another huge issue is there's a ton of bots. As we know, you guys were talking about Twitter earlier, and Elon coming in right now. So what we sought out to do was we created Token Tag, where you can have a unified community ecosystem. And the way you become a member of Token Tag is you have to connect your MetaMask, you have to connect your Twitter, and you have to connect your Discord. That way, it's pretty hard to have a bot on our system. So that eliminates that right off the bat. But by doing that, you can come in as a community manager and you can have a centralized view of all of the communities or all of the members of your community. And then you can see who's actually contributing to your community, who's driving the brand forward, who are the champions of your brand. Because right now that's being lost in the Discords, it's being lost in the Twitters and the Telegrams. You can't really see who is who. Everyone has different names, as you guys know. And if you're new to the NFT space and the community space, you'd see that very quickly as you came in, that it becomes a pretty difficult job. So on the functionality side of things, we're going to actually have Tim show you what you can do from the community side later on. But right now I want to pass it on to Paul, and he could talk a little bit more on the member benefits of Token Tag.
Beautiful.
Sure, yeah. So kind of like Riley said, what we gathered from being a part of the space, whether firsthand or talking with a bunch of customers, we talked to people all the way from Dapper Labs, like the community managers there, community managers at Art Blocks, all the way down to like the local artist from Spain that's just pumping out JPEGs left and right. So what we gathered from those conversations was that it's hard to figure out who the best customers are. It's hard to connect personally with the members of their community that drive the brand forward. So what we do is, like Riley said, unify all of those profiles and provide like a one-stop shop for members of the ecosystem, owners of digital assets, and participants in communities to safely interact with their community managers and other members inside of the community. So what that looks like and how we do that is by unifying those three profiles, we're able to weed out who isn't a part of the community, who 99 times out of 100 are the ones that exhibit like bot and spam-like qualities. So the only people that you can communicate with are those who are bought into the community. And we verify that with the digital asset or the token, which is, again, one of the benefits of the smart contract. And so we've built this ability to communicate directly with other members in the community and then directly with community managers, which is another like oversight in the ecosystem, is that these community managers are unable to like gather feedback from their community and allow members to have a voice in driving the brand forward. Like one of the things that the dudes at Top Shot were telling me was that they'll like screenshot tweets from like their 2 or 3 influencers and turn on post notifications when like a new feature comes out and screenshot that and send it to their CEO. And they're like, yeah, this is the most inefficient thing in the world. Like all these people want to give their feedback and have a voice in the way that the brand unfolds, but they can't because there's too much information on Discord and Twitter. There's too many of them and there's too many bots. So basically we weed all that out. And what we're preparing for by unifying these 3 profiles is when digital assets become a wider part or a bigger part in expressing the individual's digital identity. And we kind of see that already with like the ENS domains and like the hexagonal profile pictures on Twitter. People want to be able to show off and display these digital assets that they own as a representation of who they are and their shared interests. So by creating that unified profile, we're able to display all of the members' assets and all of their contributions across Twitter and Discord to really paint that unified picture and allow them to express their digital identity. And on top of that, like what we're doing from a business standpoint, because we're able to collect so much information from those 3 engagement channels, we're able to put together a pretty good user profile. So we can tell that like I'm someone who owns $100,000 worth of NFTs and talk about sports all the time on Twitter, and I'm really active in building the Discord. We basically bundle that into like a complete data profile on like a member basis or on an individual basis, so that direct-to-consumer brands, NFT collections can come to us and say, hey, we'd like 1,000 users that, like I said, talk about sports all the time on Twitter and have $10,000 worth of digital holdings and are really active in their Discord. We give them that custom audience on a smart contract, such that when they purchase that smart contract with the audience, we take a percentage of that list, similarly to the way Facebook and Google have their advertising set up, but are able to reroute revenue back to each user. So every time that I get an ad pushed onto me, I capture a percentage of the value that token tag would get from the brand pushing that advertisement. It'd be like if you made 50 cents every time you saw a Facebook or an Instagram ad.
Interesting. So it seems, and correct me if I misunderstood it, but it seems as if I'm a public face, public profile, this tool that you guys are developing allows me to pretty much be transparent with my audience in terms of assets, what I believe in, where my passions are as a community, and where I've put my money, where my mouth is, or not, or in my
Exactly.
back. And somehow there seems to be a mechanism to where even the community that is tied to this individual can benefit from any of the revenue coming in. Is that
exactly? Yes, 100%. So
can you Pelosi
go ahead.
Join you guys? Because that way we know what she's buying, what she's selling. You know, it'd be a great transparency for the politicians, like the pins that they wear. But this time it's actually showing, okay, the pin shows this, but here's where my money is. You know,
yeah, you could basically harden your tool against Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, 100%. We're really trying to take to heart like the one-stop shop for members to participate in this ecosystem, because that's one of the things that bars widespread adoption. Like no one wants to be involved in this space, or my mom doesn't, at least, because she knows that she'll get her wallet rugged or taken advantage of by some bad actor. And for most people to like get any benefit out of these communities, you have to be actively participating. That's where like the utility comes from, like getting genuine connections. But the fact is that it's impossible to stay up to date with all these communities because Discord and Twitter are so flooded with information. So what we do for these members is basically create like a curated social feed for each person to gather like the important information from their communities, like any events, pretty much any important information, in like a one-stop shop. So you log into Token Tag, you see your community's updates, you see like any transactions that happen within your community. So like if we were all part of the same community, I could see that Mike bought a Bored Ape last week, right in that social feed, just because like I know that he's in, or Token Tag knows that he's in this community and made like this extravagant purchase. And so you can build those genuine connections with other people in the space, but also putting into one place the important information that pertains to each community. Because like as it stands now, you either are really involved and spend hours a day on Discord and Twitter, like keeping up to date and responding to every message sent, or you check in once in a while and just get flooded with information and don't know where to start, or you don't even participate at all and just hold these JPEGs in your wallet, which really doesn't deliver a lot of utility.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So it sounds like there's basically two angles you're approaching. You're creating a new way for people to, by merit, receive basically promotion of whatever content they're putting out. So you can see these are people truly communicating with our community. They're truly collaborating and helping push our cause forward. And so you can see what they're actually thinking, despite any amount of noise, based on their merit. That's
exactly
really clever.
Yeah.
And then
identifying like the brand champions and then giving the leaders the tools and analytics to engage them on a more personal level.
That's really cool. Yeah, merit-based systems I think are undervalued, and they're going to become much more valued in years to come, because we've already seen what happens when we have lots of volume but no actual substance. The
100%.
bear market has really flushed that out, so this is good timing for you guys. You mentioned something about revenue streams as well. Could
Sure.
you go into that value proposition of your toolkit, how you can basically help people in the community make money?
And anyone in your team can answer also. So, and guys, feel free to jump into that.
Yeah, I'll take the monetization strategy. So, like, what makes Facebook and Google valuable is that they're able to craft really, really good like user profiles on each member that participates with their ecosystem. So they can tell that I'm someone who like looks up Gucci and Louis Vuitton all the time on my browser and live in this certain area code, but they like steal your data and sell it on the black market. And then you get a bunch of spammy ads pushed onto you from every corner of the internet. And it can often feel malicious, and it's just like annoying to begin with. So what we're trying to do is create like a Web3 native marketing ecosystem where we put together those data profiles that are provided to us by the users that know that we're harvesting their data and what we're going to do with it, and putting together that social profile so that brands like Nike, Bored Ape, Louis Vuitton can come to us and push out this advertisement to them that would live on the blockchain. So for example, Nike gets that list of 1,000 users and sends an airdrop of an access card to like the limited edition Jordan release on Saturday, which are impossible to get because that process is flooded with bots that automatically receive bids or automatically place bids on the sneakers. So like me trying to get the pair of retro 12s that drop on Saturday is like a diamond, or the odds of that is like finding a needle in a haystack. Nike comes to us and asks for that list of users that are like diehard Nike fans, gives them that access card. They pay us for the ability to send that access card to all of those list of users. The list of users gets the access card and a percentage of what Nike pays us for that list of users. And then, so it's kind of like a revenue share in that regard. Oh yeah, so look, I can answer that question too. If you didn't want people to know that you wanted a Bored Ape, what we're doing is kind of building like a Venmo type system. So you can do like private public transactions. Obviously all the transactions live on the blockchain anyway, but like if you really want to go dig for it, you can go on Etherscan and like deal with like all of the numbers and information there, which is inherently a pain to like sift through and make sense of. So like if I didn't want you guys to see that I bought a Bored Ape, I would just click private and no one would see it. Basically just full controllability over what people see, what they don't see.
Got it. One question I had from one of our viewers from Indo Crypto says, so what would happen in 6 months to a year when the bots become more interactive, start meeting the requirements of owning all social media? Developers can script bots and go and buy those NFTs. And then the follow-up question is, how can your system keep learning to identify bots at that point? I think it's a great question.
Yeah, no, that is a really good question. So to that point, like we're going to look for characteristics that embody real users across the social media if they are able to like get past the token gated access. So say this bot cleverly purchases a Bored Ape that now gets them access to like the Bored Ape ecosystem on token tag. By unifying that, so this bot won't have access to like any communication so long as they haven't, or they will only have access so long as they've unified the Twitter and Discord. So then like we'll use models to predict like based on the Twitter and Discord activity, is this user a real person? So if they come on with a Bored Ape but have 0 followers on Twitter and are following 10,000 and never post and have never sent a message in the Discord, 99 times out of 100 they're a bot. So we can flag that account and be like, what's good? Like hop on the phone with us to prove that you're a real person. Otherwise, like see you later.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah. Like, I can't tell you, I run a lot of our social media. I can't tell you how many times I just hashtag Bitcoin and immediate bots show up every single time.
Oh, thousands
Yeah.
of them.
It's so annoying, and so I feel like this service will definitely help mitigate a lot of that. This is actually pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's frustrating that they're good looking too.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's some sweaty dude in a basement, but
yeah,
This
absolutely.
picture of a pretty girl told me, yeah, I think I have a chance.
Told me to send me her wallet.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Maybe I have to
just wanna
exclude
see-
myself. Maybe I have to exclude myself from, the conversation.
you're the one working against the bots, sir. Building
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
So-
But Tim, do you maybe want to run
Do
through
you
a
guys wanna
demo a
have
little
to
bit?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Tim, take it. It's all yours. Oh, and by the way, when are you guys launching? When are you going live? Are you live now? When's the big-
So right now we just started working with our first customers called the Dippies, who I've been a part of for a couple months. They actually just elected me to like their leadership council. So they had like some founder turmoil. The founder stepped down and turned over the keys to the community. So me and 4 other members are like really taking this thing by the horns and trying to drive it forward.
Fantastic.
Okay. Do you guys see my screen? Because it's kind of hard. I'm not seeing I'm having it just.
Yeah, it's full screen for us.
Full
Thank
screen.
you.
Awesome. So this is actually the community part. So I'm acting as a community manager for a community named Dippies, as Paul mentioned. Obviously, if I manage more than one community, I can literally just like change the community, for example, from Dippies to OK Docs, and the whole dashboard will be adopted, let's say, and the whole tool will be adopted, let's say, to the community that you selected. Well, let's get back to Dippies. Here on the dashboard, you'll see, as Paul and Riley mentioned, you see like 3 data streams that we are initially plugging into the platform. This is the number of followers they have on Twitter. This is the number of Discord members that they have on their Discord guild or server. And this is the number of unique holders that they have on their community. And also you can see a kind of like history, how their community evolved. So primarily, this is a kind of, let's say, a holistic view of your whole community. You don't need any more, let's say, to go to 3, 4, 5 other sources in order to have an idea how your community is evolving. What is the number of unique holders? Is it growing or is it shrinking, or what's the state of the community? Obviously, we are going to show, let's say, who are the top holders, for example, who's owning most number of assets, who are like the top followers that you have on your community, and who are longest members that are coming on your server. And when the app is going to be live, we will see just like last verifications that are coming to the app. Obviously, as you see, like the tool offers a lot of other functionalities, like a feed that you will expose to your members, and the feed has such functionality that will import, as you see, like all posts that you do on Discord, so you don't have like to micromanage, go from tool to tool. Once you connect Discord and Twitter and other sources, token tag will be able, let's say, to retrieve, including all the interactions that your members are having on that specific source. Obviously, you have ability to hide posts that you dislike that are retrieved from that media or from that source, and you can do, let's say, a new post like for your community on token tag. We would really love to see communities using this tool more and more, like, and get out of the noisy Discord and potential Twitter in the future. We are going to other functionalities like Analyze. On Analyze, you have members. And sorry, I hear a voice. Is there anyone asking, or am I going too fast?
No, you're doing good.
No, you're good.
Awesome.
Yeah, keep cooking.
Yeah.
Awesome. So obviously you see, like, you have Twitter, and you can see like who are like your Twitter users coming in. Like, you have all the Discords, like, and you can like filter data. You can literally look like who is your Discord by searching. Probably in the future, we are cooking up some features that will identify bots based on what some of the predictions that Paul talked a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of holders, we have a very interesting feature that you can sort by number of assets they owned. And like I have a more interesting case on the other community where we synchronize like 2 collections with blockchain, Ethereum. So as you see like who is having like most assets owned, and how this like is spread into the collections that community is owning. For example, from this 1990, I mean, like 288 is in the first collection, and 702 are on Duckling, the second collection. So obviously, you can search for wallets, you can do whatever operations that you can think you can do in a very intuitive tool. In terms of members, maybe this is the most interesting part. Once a user is logged in Token Tag and passes all the verifications, we show it on the members, and they are not anymore, let's say, they have also all the characteristics of Discord, Twitter, and holders, because we put like all the data into a single unified place. And now you can group these members into groups that have meaning for you. For example, I would really love, let's say, to have in a group all these members that have a Discord, or all these like Twitter who has like this number of followers, or holders that are owning, let's say, more than 10 assets. And you can have that, group that you really want to interact with, because groups are somehow the epicenter of the all other functionalities. For example, once you create a group, you can have a conversation with them, and you can start talking with them, and they can reply to your conversation. So primarily, we enable a kind of native conversation between community members and their respective, let's say, community managers or community leaders. Of course, we have feedback, so you can create surveys and post to all the members to gather feedback for any topic that you want to expose in the community. And we will soon have the airdrop, so you can literally reward these members with new NFTs or new assets. This is a community manager part. Now I'm going, let's say, to member part. So when I log in with my personal Gmail, Token Tag will send you to several steps of verification. First step is that I need to connect MetaMask. So this is, for us, this is very important step, because this is a kind of first prevention from bots. Because if a bot has a MetaMask or has a wallet, it's okay to join, but I guess that they don't have. And second step, after you connect your MetaMask or wallet, you're asked to connect your Discord. So this is like a kind of second step of verification, and the third and last step is Twitter. So Token Tag will connect Twitter. So after this verification is done, you passed all the steps, and you're now verified, and communities will see that you're part of their community because you already passed all the steps. You can participate on the conversations. As I showed you on the other part, you can fill the feedbacks that they created for you. And also we can load, let's say, whole assets list that you own in each community. Obviously, we will notify you and send you proper notification based on the preferences and based on other actions that communities will perform. So in a nutshell, this was like Token Tag, and I believe that this is first time that we show to the public. So you guys took the premiere.
Nice.
Well, we're
honored. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say we certainly appreciate that. That is quite the honor there. I wanted to ask. This has been a great presentation, but Tim, I really appreciate that. Mike, I wanted to kind of give you the floor a little bit, just kind of explain what exactly your role in the company is, and if you can elaborate a little bit more as well. I mean, we've heard a ton of information already, but haven't heard from you, so I wanted to give you the floor.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm basically working on our growth and community initiatives at Token Tag. So we've been working for the past couple of months of building a networking group of the best and brightest builders in Web3. So we call that the Community Builders Network. When we were getting in the space, we kind of realized it was hard to find a group of people who were willing to network and connect and collab, and who were actually like all real people and not bots. So we figured that we'd make a place for the best and brightest builders to connect and collab. And kind of with this community, we're using a flywheel model for growth. So we're starting out with attracting strangers through our content. We have a podcast, the Community Builders Podcast, a blog where we spotlight different communities in the NFT ecosystem who are doing cool stuff, Twitter threads. And then we're also launching the Community Builders Academy, where we're going to be releasing modules every week or two. I believe the first one Paul's putting together right now is going to be about community governance. That's going to come out on Monday. So we're really just trying to offer a lot of content to kind of bring people into the community. And then once we have community members, we're going to engage them with each other. We're going to host networking events, access to our token gated Discord channel, Twitter spaces, and then our Twitter community that we're working on building out. And then from there, we're hoping to turn members into our OG members. So we have 413 OG passes that we made, which is kind of a homage to where Token Tag was born. We're students at Williams College, and that's our area code. And we're going to turn them into this level of OG members by helping them partner and collab with other people in our network and in real life meetups and events. And we've kind of like built this with the idea that it'll kind of serve as like, I've kind of thought of it as the analogy where Token Tag is kind of like the seed and Community Builders Network is the water that's watering the seed and allowing it to grow by providing a member base and just a group of people that we can be really tight with and help like beta test our product with before we end up releasing it.
Brilliant. You guys have all of those resources you just mentioned on like a list, like Linktree or something?
Yeah, we have a Notion site too. I can toss the link in the chat if you guys are interested.
Yeah, if you throw that in the YouTube chat, that'd be perfect.
You're on to us. That's why we asked.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if this question is for Mike or whomever. Anybody can grab this one, but Into Crypto had another really good question. I don't think this has been answered yet, but no. He asked, I apologize if I missed this. How does this incentivize users or community members to want to project to adopt your technology? And how and does the community get back to essentially sharing their data?
I guess it's the revenue model and how the community would benefit by I think.
Hey, Paul, I think it's you have a lot of like people in the hallway yelling. So.
I think so.
Oh, sorry, my fault.
No worries.
It's all good.
Everyone feel free to answer on.
Got you.
Could you pop up the question again?
Yeah. So he said, how does this incentivize users to want a project to adopt your technology? Is essentially what he's asking.
Sure. Yeah. So like the reason why I as a member would want my project to adopt the technology is so that I can have that curated social feed in one place so that I don't have to spend all day on Discord and Twitter trying to keep up with all the information. The monetization too is a piece of it. Like if my community is a part of it, that means that I'll be a part of it so that I can capture like revenue from advertisements that will inevitably come my way. And then could you just talk, I think there was a second part of the question.
Yeah, it said how and what does the community get back for essentially sharing their data? And he just followed it up with, Web3 is about owning your data. So
100%, yeah. Like Chris Dixon, the partner and like top dog at Andreessen's crypto fund, we actually saw him talk last week at TechCrunch and was saying how like the thing he's most excited for about Web3 is that it allows for creators to own their data and contributions to the ecosystem. And that's kind of exactly what we're trying to embody, whether it be an artist who can like monetize her art across like the entire world, rather than just like selling her art to like local coffee shops and never sniffing another dollar of it again, or users of the ecosystem being compensated for like the data that is getting scraped from them at all hours of the day.
Got it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And guys, this has been an absolutely amazing interview. I certainly appreciate it. I really love the technology and I appreciate your guys' time. And for those of you who are watching, we certainly appreciate you as well. Guys, anybody can take this one as well, but tokentag.io is the website. Anywhere else our viewers should be looking to find you guys at?
Yeah, definitely. You can check us out on Twitter at tokentag_IO. That's where we primarily engage. We also have a Discord called the Community Builders Network, which Mike alluded to, which you can find on our Twitter. But yeah, basically the website and the Twitter are the best place to catch us. Also on Medium too, if you want to check out some of our spotlight articles that we write for all of our communities, and the Community Builders podcast on Spotify and Apple Music. You can just punch that right into Google. It should take you to the right place.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then also I just shared in our link to our Community Builders Network Notion page too in the YouTube comments. The site's not fully built out yet, but we have a lot of our spotlight articles and podcasts on there, as well as some more information about the group and project if you guys want to check that out too.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'll be sure to also.
Of course. If anyone wants to reach out more directly, you can find me at pwalnuts.eth on Twitter and paul@tokentag.io.
Beautiful.
Amazing. I'll be sure to put all that in our descriptions as well. Guys, thanks so much. And everybody who's watching, thanks for watching as well. We certainly appreciate your time too. Make sure that you like, subscribe. We'll be back on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern time to do this all over again. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Make sure you check out our Discord as well. The link is attached to our chat and in the description too. And that's going to do it for today's show. Riley, the team, Paul, thanks for showing up today, and thanks for being a part of our stream. We certainly appreciate it. And for everybody else, have a great weekend.
Take care. And
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, take care. Cheers.